Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
They've got three monsters in there offensively. And I know even though you say Pujols isn't hitting, he still gets his hits and he still drives in his runs, and then all of a sudden he goes crazy like he is now.
Milwaukee will play host to a Central Division showdown this weekend between the Brewers and the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals. Miller Park is where the Cards and crew will clash for a 3-game set. Chris Narveson will get the call to kick off the series for the crew, and the Cardinals will counter with Cal Loesch as he shoots for his 8th win of the season. Hello, everyone. Telly Hughes back with you. Thanks for joining us for Brewers baseball. We are in store for what should be a very exciting series between the top 2 teams in the Central Division that will battle here at Miller Park over the next 3 days. Let's take a look at some news and notes surrounding these 2 teams. The Brewers still own the best home record in baseball at 22-9, and their 71 home runs is tied for the National League lead along with the Arizona Diamondbacks. On the other side, St. Louis has been sizzling with 18 wins over their last 29 games, and the Cardinals keep it going. Sir Lance-a-Lot, Lance Berkman, has batted .350 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs over his last 5 games, and him and Albert Pujols has been quite a 1-2 punch. Coming up, 2 of the top first basemen in baseball will be on display. It's Prince versus Pujols. BA and Rock will be back with more next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Friday night baseball here in Milwaukee, and the very much anticipated series between the Brewers and the Cardinals. The first trip in for St. Louis. Back when these 2 teams last met, the Cardinals had a 5-game lead over the Brewers. Milwaukee was 5 under at the time. That was on May 9th. And then the Brewers got hot, and Prince Fielder and the crew now 2.5 back. They've managed to pick up 2.5 games. Both teams over 500, both playing very well. And a showdown series begins tonight. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. The Brewers dropping a series to the New York Mets. But now the Cardinals come to town, and two of the premier players in all of baseball, Albert Pujols and Prince Fielder. And right now, both of them very hot at the plate for both teams.
This is going to be a fun series, and I think a very much anticipated series, not by just the fans, but the players themselves. Arguably the best hitter in baseball in the last decade. Albert Pujols got off to a slow start, but he is not slow start right now. He's been swinging the bat extremely well, one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball, but not to be outdone. Prince Fielder swinging the bat probably better than Albert, probably better than anybody in baseball right now. He's got that home run streak going. You talk about two of the premier first basemen offensively in all of baseball hooking up in this series. It's probably going to come down to the guys around them in that batting order. That's going to be the team that wins.
Yeah, guys like Ryan Braun, guys like Lance Berkman for the Cardinals. Well, these two usually dominate the headlines. You see how good they have been in the last 2 weeks and where they rank in the major leagues. They are going to be the two most highly touted free agents at season's end as well. Looking forward to a great series. It's the first of three, the Brewers and the Cardinals. Game one coming up next from Miller Park. Stay with us. Retro Friday here at Miller Park, and Prince Fielder leading his team out onto the field as we are set for Brewers and Cardinals baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Now the Cardinals come to town in first place. Tony La Russa, a milestone tonight. He is managing in his 5,000th game, joining Connie Mack as the only manager/coaches in American professional sports history to reach that milestone. And here we go. The former Cardinal Chris Narveson on the mound against Kyle Loesch tonight, one of the best pitchers in the National League. And the Cardinals come to town in first place in the National League Central. They are 12 games over 500, 2.5 ahead of Milwaukee. And you have a matchup of the best road team in the National League against the best home team in the National League in the Brewers. As Ryan Theriot leads off for St. Louis. Cardinals coming off a series win against the Houston Astros. They wrapped up that series yesterday. Late night of travel for St. Louis. And starts a big 3-game showdown in the month of June. And Rock, I guess, about as big of a series as you can have in the second week of June for these two teams.
Yeah, the Brewers are going to play each other 18 times. 12 of those games between the Brewers and Cardinals come after the beginning of August, and there's going to be some very interesting games as the schedule plays out.
Casey McGee throws out his buddy Theriot for out number 1, and that's how we get it started tonight. Let's give you La Russa's Piggly Wiggly batting order. It's Ryan Theriot, John Jay, then Albert Pujols. In the middle, Lance Berkman, he's having a great year. Colby Rasmussen, Yadier Molina, Tyler Green, Daniel Descasso, and Kyle Loesch rounded out. Loesch is a 7-game winner. That lineup facing Chris Narveson, who's trying to get his season turned around a little bit. A couple of hiccups his last time out.
Yeah, last 3 starts have not been very good, and his last time out against Florida, no decision. Was able to pitch into the 6th. He had a 5-0 lead, give up 4 runs. But Narveson needs a good start. His second start against St. Louis. He lost the game but pitched well against the Cardinals at Busch.
Now, that was back on the 8th of May. Took a loss, only gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings against St. Louis. Second meeting of the year between these two teams. Cardinals took 2 out of 3 earlier this season, back in early May, a month ago. Check the defense behind Narveson tonight. Braun, Morgan, and Hart in the outfield. McGee and Counsell on the left side with Weeks and Fielder on the right. Lucroy does the catching. Blaine's Farm and Fleet defense. Craig Counsell tonight getting his 8th start at the shortstop position. Yuniesky Betancourt is available on the bench for Ron Renicky. I think the Brewers feel most comfortable with this particular lineup, at least at the top, with Nyjer Morgan batting in the 2-hole and in center field. And that's the kind of lineup you see against a right-handed starter. And the Brewers are going to face 3 right-handed starters in this series.
Yeah, the struggles for Carlos Gomez offensively, and Betancourt has been inconsistent, up at the plate. So Ron Renicky forced to, move guys in and out of that batting order.
Well, John Jay is retired on a ground out. 2 gone in the inning. Tonight we go for a scouting report from pitching coach Rick Kranitz and how his pitcher tonight is hoping to avoid the big inning.
Trust himself. When he gets in those situations, all he has to do is just make his pitch. He pitched pretty well against these guys this last time and ended up giving up a big, 2-out. I think it was a 2-out double to a left-handed hitter. So you know what? He's really thrown the ball well. Like you said, it's been 1 inning or just not staying away from the big inning. And that for me is just trust your.
And that's the thing about Narveson. I mean, he's been cruising along early part of the ball game, and then the big inning comes up to bite him. You remember last year he had first inning problems. He's certainly been able to rectify that. Narveson has not allowed a first inning run this year.
Well, he faces Albert Pujols. So much talk about a slow start for Pujols, and it was a slow start by his standards. But you look up at the National League leaderboards today, and Pujols is in the top 5 in home runs. He is in the top 10 in runs batted in, hitting .277 with 14 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Narveson paints the corner on him right at the bottom of the strike zone, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pujols and Berkman, the 2 forces in the middle of this batting order. The Cardinals are still without Matt Holliday. Rocky's out with a quad injury, and he might be gone for another week. He definitely will not appear in this series as he's on the disabled list.
And it's amazing that the Cardinals, with all the injuries that they've had, including Holliday, he's been hurt twice this year, and was still able to play very good baseball. He got 20 wins on the road this year. But Pujols, Berkman, and once Holliday comes back, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Full count to Pujols. In the air to left. Braun gives it chase. Will it stay in the park for him? Brian Braun will watch it go in the seats. Hey, good catch up there by a fan. Nicely done. Pujols had a couple of game-winning home runs last week. Take a look at that nice catch. That's how you do it. Back-to-back nights, Pujols had walk-off home runs. Bouncing ball to Counsell. And a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Narveson. Good start. We head to the bottom of the first. Here come the Brewers against Kyle Loesch. First, now the Brewers coming up for the first time against Kyle Loesch. And a great contrast in managers here tonight. The first-year Brewers manager, Ron Renneke. And the man in Tony La Russa managing in his 5,000th game. Here is Renneke's batting order tonight, courtesy of Piggly Wiggly, Ricky Weeks, Nyjer Morgan, Ryan Braun at the top. Prince fielder Casey McGee and Corey Hart in the middle of the order, with Craig Counsell at short, Jonathan Lucroy catching, and then Narveson on the mound. And one of the very best in the National League, Kyle Loesch, will tow it up. Had a season's worth of injuries last year, but he's back and he's healthy, and he's pitching about as good as anybody in baseball.
Yeah, about as consistent as anybody in baseball, too. He's only had one bad outing, and that was kind of questionable outing as well. He's second in the National League with that 2.41 earned run average. Keeps the ball down. He's got a good slider. Been a nice surprise for Tony La Russa.
Loesch had trouble with a forearm injury last year. Never really could get 100% healthy. But had a procedure done. And he is back and as good as ever. As Weeks into left field. Back is John Jay at the wall. He's got it. Check the defense for the Cardinals. I beg your pardon. Looks like the Cardinals have made a switch lately. That was the same lineup I had. But Jay and Berkman have flip-flopped for Tony La Russa. Descalso, Terrio, Green, and Pujols around the horn with Yadier Molina doing the catching. So Berkman, who has been playing a lot in right field, now in left field. Maybe Tony La Russa's way of just letting us all know that he's in town.
Yep, he's in town, and that is just vintage Tony La Russa, isn't it? Late lineup changes, moving guys around in the outfield.
So Nyjer Morgan with one away.
What could possibly have come up between the time he filled out that lineup card and game time when he flip-flopped his outfielders? He did it on purpose.
As Nigel Morgan delivers a base hit. Yeah, so Morgan keeps swinging the bat. We go to our Nissan keys on this pitcher, Kyle Loesch. It comes from Dale Swain, the Brewers hitting coach.
Great command of his fastball. The right-handers, he's going to be away on the outside corner a lot. Kind of really nibbles when he's ahead in 2 strikes. He's able to make his pitches. He doesn't leave a lot of stuff in the middle of the plate, especially when he's ahead in 2 strikes. Throws a slider quite a bit, has good command of that.
Manny barely ever walks anybody. He's only got 15 walks in 86 innings, so doesn't walk many, doesn't strike many out. And the one thing Loesch does very well is control the running game. It's very tough to run on Kyle Loesch. He's got a quick move to first, and he's very quick to home plate. And Yadier Molina, a very good thrower behind home plate.
And in seasons past, that hasn't been a big concern for the Brewers. They were not a team that ran a lot, but this year it does eliminate a big part of their game, the aggressive play on the base paths. And a quick pitcher to the plate and a great thrower behind the plate. It's a bad combination. Braun takes a strike.
Matter of fact, there's only been 1 stolen base attempt with Loesch on the mound, and he was thrown out.
Loesch made a start against the Brewers back in May, when 8 innings, gave up just 1 earned run. Loesch took a loss that day. That was Gallardo's terrific outing. The only one of that series for the Brewers. 3 very well pitched games for the Cardinals in that 3-game set against Milwaukee last time around. That one is on the corner. Ryan Braun disagrees with Ron Kolpa. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
He's got very good command on both sides of the plate. That ball looked like it might have been a bit low.
Braun comes in batting .312, has 13 home runs and 45 driven in. His 45 RBIs, good enough for 5th in the National League to start play today. The National League leader is the man on deck, Prince Fielder, who has 55 ribbies. And as fun as it has been watching Braun and Fielder do big damage, those two combining for 100 runs batted in. Close play over at first. Niger was leaning towards second.
Yep, 100 runs batted in and 30 home runs.
And with all of that being said, and Braun and Fielder have had great starts to the season, you know, you're starting to move into the part of the season. You get into mid-June, there has to be some ancillary production. Guys like McGee and Corey Hart and Ricky Weeks. A lazy fly ball. Tyler Green is out. He wants it for the 2nd out of the inning. Braun retired. And 2 men are out with Morgan still at first for Prince Fielder. Powerball home run count. Fielder now at 17 on the season. He is at 6 home runs in his last 7 games. Fielder 2nd in the league in home runs right now. Matt Kemp is the league leader with 18.
And hitting them all over the field, line to line.
This is what the Powerball home run leaderboard looks like for Milwaukee coming into play tonight.
Yeah, tough to pitch to a guy that's hitting home runs to left, around to right field. He's been that good. But you're right. I mean, the guys around, both Braun and Fielder, gotta have to start coming up big. Guys like Corey Hart, guys like McGee. But Ricky Weeks has been fairly good. But you can't rely on 2 guys all year, and it's pretty much been the situation.
Fielder has his batting average over 300 to start play today. Morgan takes off, and Molina's throw is in time for the out. Morgan caught stealing with Fielder standing at home plate. And the inning ends, and Prince will lead off the second.
One of the greatest tradition at the Dells, the Tommy Bartlett Show, one of the greatest shows in the country. And BA and Rock, I know you guys can pull off a juggling act. I don't know if it's this good, though. Don't forget the Dells, just an hour and a half from Milwaukee. Back to you guys.
All right, Craig, thanks. So we got Craig doubled up tonight. He's out there at the Dells working hard, missing all the fun here at Miller Park. Lance Berkman leads off for St. Louis. Boy, he has had a monster season. What a comeback for Lance Berkman. He was traded from the Astros to the Yankees last year. There were a lot of talk that he was done. His career might be coming to an end. He lost weight in the offseason, got himself in better shape, and Berkman has put up huge numbers. Berkman hitting .331 to start play today. That's fourth best in the league. He has 15 home runs, which is also fourth in the league, and he's tied for fifth with 45 RBIs.
Yeah, most of his power comes as a left-handed batter. So those 15 home runs, 12 have come from the left side of the plate, and a bit of an advantage that Narveson has, having Berkman bat right-handed. Higher average left-handed, more home runs left-handed, and he's still a threat right-handed, though. Between Berkman and Pujols, they've hit 29 home runs combined. We mentioned the only two in the National League with more, Braun and Fielder.
1-2 to Berkman, and a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Narveson picks up his first strikeout as he retires Lance Berkman to start the second.
Yep, good change up on the outside corner. See Berkman pull the shoulder off and out in front of it. Yeah, good pitch. That's the key to his success, the change up, the curveball. He's got to keep them both down and off the corners.
Here is Colby Rasmus. And he hammers one to left field. Ryan Braun on the run at the wall. He reaches up and he's got it. Braun with an over the shoulder catch. Rasmus robbed of extra bases.
Yeah, there's a guy that always seems to swing the bat well against Milwaukee. Yeah, Braun knows exactly how much room he has in that warning track. Hauls it in. Not sure if he had to jump, but he did anyway. Rasmus was a leadoff hitter for the Cardinals the last time the Brewers and Cardinals faced.
Yeah, he's bounced around that lineup. It doesn't strike you as a lineup full of big names, especially without Matt Holliday, but they're getting a lot of production from those around Pujols and Berkman, which is why the RBIs are up for Pujols and Berkman. They're certainly cashing them in. And the league's best batting average as a team to start play today. Got gaudy batting averages up and down the lineup. Yadier Molina comes in 9th in the league in hitting with a .314 average. And he shoots one down the right field line. That's trouble. That's going to go to the wall. And Molina will end up at second base with a double. A 2-out double for the Cardinal catcher.
Yeah, very good at taking pitches to the opposite field. Yeah, Molina, one of the best in the business, is doing that. Doesn't strike out much. And check out that cut fastball that stayed outer half. Tried to backdoor it, but Molina very good at shooting that pitch to right field. Good opposite field hitter.
First hit of the night for the Redbirds. And a double for Molina brings up Tyler Green. Statistically, Green the weakest bat in the lineup, hitting just .216 this year. And getting a lot of time at second base. He and Ryan Theriot manage the Keystone for the Cardinals. Holiday not the only big bat missing from the Cardinals lineup. David Freese is out with a broken hand, and he is expected back sometime this month or perhaps early July. David Freese, young third baseman, good hitter.
Got some marquee names on that disabled list. The Cardinals still playing some pretty good baseball.
Yeah, the biggest of all, Adam Wainwright, who underwent Tommy John surgery this spring, injured his elbow this spring, and he'll miss the entire season. They're saying, though, that Wainwright is on a throwing schedule beginning this month. Threw him a 3-1 changeup. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Tyler Green.
Man, he's got a good one so far tonight. When you have a good one, it's working for you. Throw it at any count.
See what he does with him here. Got a runner at second. And a foul out of play. Thought you made a good point, Rock, in the Brewers Live pregame show about the Cardinals. And if you'd have said this team is going to be 12 games over 500 in first place by June 10th, and only 1 win from Carpenter and Wainwright. Of course, Wainwright is on the disabled list. That would not have been your prediction.
And 1 save out of Ryan Franklin.
Down he goes. Narveson hits the inside corner. And Tyler Green, a strikeout victim. Narveson with 2 Ks in the second inning and 2 scoreless on the board. Happy birthday, Brody. third birthday.
He looks older than 3, doesn't he?
He does look a lot older than 3. Fielder leads off the second inning. Bouncer to Pujols. 1 pitch and 1 out as we check in with Telly Hughes.
Well, BA, this is the second meeting between these two teams, but it seemed like the Crew really kicked it in gear after leaving St. Louis in early May. They are 21-8 since May 9th, the best winning percentage in baseball, but they haven't been able to build any sort of momentum over the Cardinals because when you look at the best records in baseball since then, you see the Cardinals ranked 5th with 18-11 records. So both teams are playing well, and the only way they seem like they're going to gain some ground against the Cardinals is with a head-to-head meeting here this weekend in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and it finally comes. Second meeting of the year between these two teams, and I think it works both ways, right, Rock? I mean, the Brewers, from the Brewers' perspective, they've played so well. They've only been able to carve off 2.5 games since their last meeting, but from the Cardinals' perspective, they play great baseball. A lot of games at home, a lot of dramatic finishes, and yet the Brewers have been able to keep pace.
Both teams a little bit frustrated. I mean, you would expect that the Brewers would be able to make up a lot more ground than just a few games.
Casey McGee gets jammed a little and lines one out to Lance Berkman for the second out.
Hey, Sundays are now Blue Bunny Ice Cream Sundays on each Sunday home game. The first 2,000 kids ages 12 and under entering Miller Park will get a free Blue Bunny ice cream, compliments of Blue Bunny.
I'm all for that promotion. I'm certain that there'll be a little product placement involved up here in the booth on Sundays.
I mean, they might give us one. You an ice cream guy?
Yeah, I am.
I've never seen you eat ice cream in here.
You know, it's not good for broadcasters. I learned my lesson in Tulsa, Oklahoma with a driller chiller once.
What happened?
You know, it kind of freezes up the vocals.
Get a little bit phlegmy?
A little flimmage going on.
Okay.
Takes a minute. I used to work by myself then. I think I could pull it off with you, though.
Just hit the cough button.
Right.
I'll pick you up.
Right. 2-0 on Corey Hart with 2 away. Throw him a breaking ball on a 2-0 pitch, and they say he swung. Angel Campos raising the thumb on Corey Hart, unable to check his swing. You be the judge. And a bouncing ball to short. Terrio makes a play for the final out of the second inning. Go to the third. The Cardinals coming up. No score. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Back at Miller Park, we head to the third inning from beautiful Miller Park. The roof is closed tonight. No score, the Brewers and the Cardinals. As we go to the third, we got some special guests up here in the booth that we're anxious to chat with and promote a great event going on in baseball, as we do every year, as Fielder secures the first out. Of course, you know Mark Adenacio, and Michael Milken joins us as well. Mr. Adenacio's former employer.
Right.
How are you guys doing tonight? Mark, we'll start with you. Great to see you again, and you're in full uniform tonight. Why don't you tell us what we have going tonight?
Well, we've got the home run challenge for prostate cancer that Mike promotes every year for Cap Cure, and last time I put on one of these jerseys, it didn't bring us much luck, but Mike changed the color.
Used to be white, now he went with the new color, and Mark's promised to wear this jersey as long as the opposing teams never score a run.
There you go.
The home run, always a great event, and we're certainly glad to be a part of it. Now, if you don't know about the home run challenge, they raise money for prostate cancer. Culminates on Father's Day, and our home run challenge game, Michael, is tomorrow. So,
well, you have
big
4.
home run day.
That's correct.
Starting tomorrow.
But, right, it starts tomorrow. Every team plays 4. There's 60 games, and people can pledge for home runs. You can go to pcf.org and learn a lot about nutrition that could help you, and learn all about the home run challenge. Unfortunately, we've noticed the number of home runs has been dropping in the major leagues. So, in 2000, we had 160. Last year, 112.
How much did you raise last year with the home run challenge?
$2.3 million, and we've raised about $50 million since we got started.
So you like to have these home run challenge games in Miller Park, in Arizona, in Cincinnati. Those are the places that you want to have. Not in Dodger Stadium, right, Mark?
Ball hangs up in Dodger Stadium.
The new Yankee Stadium right now has the most home runs. Colorado has a lot of home runs, but we're counting on Milwaukee. Last year, Fielder hit 3 home runs in those 4 games. Yeah. So we flew out here today. I was going over the stats with Mark, looking at the team here. But this is just a great ballpark, just a great place to come. I'm hoping I'm going to be submitting my resume that one day I can be one of the sausages running around here.
Well, we can work that out. You got the guy that can make that happen for you. But what is the message that you and baseball want to send out to men around our country?
Well, since we started 16 years ago, the idea was this is the American pastime. Come out to the ball game. Come out with your dad. Keep Dad in the game. We put Dad on our jerseys. And remind him to get checked for prostate cancer. Just a simple check. It's one of the few, life-threatening diseases that you can take a blood test as an early warning. And since we started this Brewers in Major League Baseball, the death rate has fallen 50% from projected levels, and we're hoping within the next 5 years we'll eliminate prostate cancer as a cause of death.
Is there an age where men should start thinking about doing those prostate screenings?
The answer is yes. If you have any family history, it should be at 40. If you're an African American, which unfortunately have a substantially higher incidence of prostate cancer, it should be at 40, but definitely by 50 years of age. And what we've learned over the years is there's a lot we can learn about nutrition that might slow down the growth of prostate cancer.
There's a base hit in the left field. Ryan Theriot with a 2-out hit. And the Cardinals with a base runner. Visiting with Michael Milken and Mark Adenacio as we try to promote the home run challenge across Major League Baseball. And noticed Tommy Lasorda was in tow here today, and Ryan Braun is the Brewers player representative.
Right, both your manager and Ryan are 2 of our lead spokespersons, and this is probably the #1 awareness program for cancer, for prostate cancer research we have in the United States. And so this period of time, which ends in Father's Day, June 19th, really in the next 30 days, more men get checked in America than in any other period of time, much to the contribution of these ball games. And with 1 in 2 men going to get cancer in their lifetime in America, and 1 in 6 prostate cancer.
Got a chance at a pickoff here, and an acrobatic tag from Counsell. Wow. What a play to end the inning, as Craig Counsell Makes a great tag, and the inning ends at second base. We'll keep Michael and Mark continue the conversation when we come back. Look at this play. The webpage is pcf.org. It's the Home Run Challenge. And it all benefits the Prostate Cancer Foundation, trying to raise money and awareness. We are here with Michael Milken and Brewers owner Mark Atanasio. And I know, Mark, this hits close to home with you. We know Michael's story. We want to get into that in a moment. But this is a story that you're all too familiar with yourself, and the cancer surviving in your family. As Counsell on cue, deep to right, and it's off the wall, and he's got a chance to run for a while. Counsell on his way to third. John Jay just now comes up with it. It is a stand-up triple for Craig Counsell. After a great defensive play in the top of this inning, Counsell delivers with a three-bagger.
Well, you know you're going to get a good at-bat out of Craig Counsell. We don't expect that kind of power. If you hit that ball a little bit more toward the right field line, he has his first home run of the year. Counsell standing at third base looking at the replay saying, how'd that ball knock it out of the ballpark? That's that area that juts out. Ron Renneke pushing the right button, giving Counsell his start against Loesch. And a good start to the third inning from Milwaukee.
Craig can still run, huh?
Safe at third, safe and secure, New York life. Those 40-year-old legs going as fast as they can. And a leadoff triple for Jonathan Lucroy. Now the Cardinals bring their infield in. Before we were so rudely interrupted by Craig Counsell, Mark.
Well, a couple more feet to the right, that would have been worth about $12,000 for cancer research.
Oh, that's right. That we lost $12,000. We could, by the way, it can be interrupted any time for a triple.
Yes, I figured you'd be okay with that. See if Lucroy can cash in here. As Lowe steals him a strike.
I'm pretty sure that previous play is going to be on the Top Sports tonight. Don't you think that play when we got him out at second base?
That tag by Counsell?
Yeah, that'll be one of the web gems.
As long as they don't show the slow motion replay, we'll be all right. Just the real time.
He looked out on the first call.
Well, the Brewers trying to scratch one across and put the first run on the board as the infield comes in. Lucroy takes one down and away. Well, Mark, we were talking about your father, though, and he's doing okay. We saw him this spring. He looks good. Looks like he's hanging in there.
No, he's done great. Look, he sung the national anthem 7 opening days, and the prostate cancer predated that. But early detection was the key there, and then some terrific treatment at Sloan Kettering in New York.
Well, Mark, and there's really no family in America that hasn't been touched by some form of cancer. You know, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women. And obviously, Mark, and hopefully your dad's watching tonight.
My dad, Joe, who everybody knows in Milwaukee, at least they know his voice, is watching tonight. And
now, Mark, how come you don't ever sing these national anthems? Huh?
It did not. Maybe it'll skip a generation, the voice.
There's a strike on Lucroy.
I'm as bad a singer as my dad is a good singer.
Well, I just think, the love of baseball and seeing Mark's enthusiasm for the Brewers, it's totally just infectious. And I get a chance to travel around and see all the ballparks in the major leagues. And considering this ballpark is 10 years old, it looks just like a new ballpark in the major leagues today. And there's a lot of exciting things going on. And Mark also told me he's also gone down that slide, which is something considering he's not a big fan of heights. So that must have been a pretty brave move, Mark.
I was telling Mike that you can get up on the catwalk in the roof here, and I don't want to do that, but I have gone down the slide, as my wife Debbie has, I will say.
Was that a private sliding? I don't recall any visuals on that.
Not during the game.
Now we saw Debbie in Florida, and the Brewers had a 4-game sweep. Now is she...
There's a good bunt. We got a safety squeeze. Counsell slide. Safe at home.
Okay.
Just got a hand in. Narveson, a beautiful bunt. And Counsell with a great slide, and the Brewers are on the board.
Yeah, very dangerous to slide head first into home play, but it's a good thing Craig did it. Yeah, a nice slide in foul territory and just able to get that hand across the edge of the plate. Look at Molina trying to block him off, but check it out. He got the point of the plate in the back. If he slides straight in, he's going to be an out. Check it out.
Well, he's giving you 3 great plays.
Craig Counsell is a winner.
What a great look. Counsell just gets in there.
He's made an impact already, wouldn't you say?
I'm telling you what, the last 15 minutes, the best sequence for Craig Counsell of the year. 1-0 Milwaukee. Now 2 on, top of the order coming up.
That's in honor of prostate cancer and fathers all around America.
Hey, Craig, you have 3 or 4 kids? Four kids.
4 kids. Yep. And they're probably here at the ballpark tonight in uniform, no doubt.
And if you're keeping score with us, that'll be a sacrifice, an RBI, and a fielder's choice. If you're keeping score at home.
Bouncing ball to second. They get the out there. No chance to get Weeks. And it'll be first and third. First out of the inning. So just to reset it here, we've had a little activity out on the field, which is always fun. But Mark Atanasio is with us, and Michael Milken. We're talking about the home run challenge all across baseball. And your story is an impressive one in that you are a cancer survivor, and you took that platform and you took it to this role in the home run challenge, raising a ton of money every year.
Well, we've raised now $450 million at the Prostate Cancer Foundation, and we've got matches up to $10 billion, and there's now 6 drugs in the market for people that have advanced prostate cancer, and there's never been more hope. Last year, for all cancer research, was the best year in the world's history for cancer research of all kinds. And it's extremely promising, not just for prostate cancer, breast cancer, today new developments in lung cancer, melanoma, etc.
As Nigel Morgan takes a ball down and away, and I appreciate what you said about the diet part of it, because that is a big part of it. You know, our immune systems are built to fight, but our immune systems can only fight if we give it a chance to fight.
Well, what we've learned is heredity is only 20 to 30%. And what you eat, how you live your life, is a big part of it. Your probability goes up as Mark and Mark's son does if you have a family member. So if you have a father, an uncle, a grandfather, your probability doubles to probably 1 in 3. If you have 2 family members, it's probably about 60%. And 3, you're probably at a 90% level.
Yeah, the Brewers had their bullpen coach, Stan Kiles, diagnosed last year, had the surgery. He's doing fine. He says he feels great, never felt better.
I think one of the messages for America particularly is early detection, as Mark said, is important. But there's 13, 14 million people living normal lives in America today that have had cancer. And so it is not.
As the runner goes, lifted in the air, going to be tagging over at third base. And here it comes. The throw goes to second, and the Brewers add to it. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Nyjer Morgan. 2-0 Milwaukee here in the third.
Well, Lance Berkman not blessed with the greatest arm in the world, but it looked like he conceded that run right from the get-go. Keep in mind, the Brewers catcher was on third base. Now you go back, you get your momentum into that throw and throw to home plate. You never know. But the Brewers will take it, throw into second base, and RBI for Nyjer.
Well, I think that keep father in the game jersey is working pretty well for you tonight, Mark.
So far, so good.
Working better than the last year's one.
Well, yeah. It was...
You know, Major League Baseball, the idea of coming to a baseball game is just one of the few sports you can just sit and have a chance to talk to another person while you're at the game. You know, basketball, hockey, and other things, just it's impossible to really enjoy the game, and that's really was the idea behind it. American pastime, come out to the game with your dad, tell him to go get checked, your co-worker, your friend, etc.
Ryan Braun into center field. Over is Rasmus, and he's got it for the out. The inning is over. The Brewers scored twice. Michael Milken, Mark Ananasio, thanks for coming up. A great cause. We're looking forward to big numbers this year in the fundraising territory.
Great, and I just got to compliment you on that good-looking shirt you're wearing tonight.
Thank you. There it is.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming up.
On the third, Chris Narveson with the squeeze bunt that produced a run. Tower Council would come around to slide in and score to give the Brewers a 1-0 lead. Then Nyjer Morgan with the sacrifice fly to left. Lucroy would score, and Chris Narveson through 3 has only allowed 2 hits and has punched out 3 as Chris Narveson's back on the mound to work the top of the 4th, B.A.
Well, John Jay will lead off for the Cardinals. Yeah, a lot going on, as Telly referenced in that third inning. Brewers getting 2 runs, RBIs from Narveson and Nyjer Morgan. And as it turns out, both coming on sacrifices. Sacrifice bunt at the fielder's choice, which was a safety squeeze for Narveson, and a sacrifice fly for Nyjer Morgan.
How about the start of the night for Craig Counsell? Pretty good idea to put him in the lineup tonight.
I was talking to Ron Renicky before the game about the shortstop position and this combination he has. Yuniesky Betancourt is the everyday shortstop, but there will be times when Renicky wants to get counsel out there as John Jay takes a called strike 3. I think it's going to be a 3-man weave at this point, and Betancourt's going to get most of the playing time, but Ron Renicky was pointing out that Betancourt has earned the right to get the most playing time right now, but the hot hand is going to start earning the right from here on out, especially as you start getting into the later months of June and into July.
Well, the bat plays, right? Especially when you're scuffling to score runs. The guys around Braun and Fielder. Nigel Morgan's going to get a lot of playing time. You figure Counsell, you might see Josh Wilson in there from time to time. Whoever's hitting is going to get some starts.
Albert Pujols with one away on the ground, and that's through, a base hit. So Pujols with his first hit of the night. And a 1-out single. Let's check the carsoup.com email the booth question. Jim wants to know, do you think Albert Pujols will be with the Cardinals next season?
Well, if you're a Brewers fan, you hope he's in Tampa Bay, perhaps. I mean, he has taken apart the Brewers throughout his career. You know, Tony La Russa would love to have him back. It's just a matter of whether the finances are going to be able to be put together to keep him. Can you imagine how much money that guy's going to make?
With Albert Pujols at the top of the free agent list among position players, Prince Fielder is a close second. And the way he's going this year, you think about the kind of dollars that it's going to take to secure Pujols. Fielder might end up on the top of that heap at some point.
Yeah, that's a lot of coins standing around there at first base.
And what's interesting about these two sluggers, they normally dominate the headlines anyway for their teams, but they start this series both red hot at the plate. Pujols and Fielder, as we pointed out in the open tonight, carrying their team right now.
Now, Prince has been hot all year. I mean, he really hasn't gone into any particular stretch where he's cooled off. You know, Albert got off to a slow start. Who knows? I mean, he's set the bar so high for himself over the last 10 or so years, and starting to swing the bat like Albert Pujols.
Now, Pujols in his career against the Milwaukee Brewers, it covers 159 games, so that is basically a full season, right? 162 game season. But in 159 games in his career against Milwaukee, 336 average, 38 home runs, and 131 RBIs. And while that looks like a great line, that is a typical Albert Pujols year. He does it against everyone.
So I go back to what I said before, have him go to Tampa.
At least you limit the number of times you have to match up against him, right?
Yeah, at least get him out of the National League Central. I can't imagine him not being a Cardinal, though.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
2-2 to Berkman, and that one's into center field. Nigel Morgan closing, and he's got it for the out. That is a great luxury that Ron Renicky has every night. Two center fielders that can go get him out there.
That was a good pitch by Chris Narveson. He had Berkman down on the end of the bat. That's why it hung up there for Morgan. He was able to run it down. Didn't hit it on the sweet spot. If he did, it would have found the gap. And Morgan, with his good speed, able to catch up to it and haul it in.
So 2 men are out. Pujols still at first, and here's Colby Rasmus.
I mentioned when Rasmus first came to the plate, he was a leadoff hitter last time the Brewers and Cardinals met. He was actually the 2 hitter, not the leadoff hitter. Terrio's been leading off just about all season long. Rasmus has been moved around a bit.
La Russa has him in a run producer's role without Matt Holliday in the lineup. Tony La Russa managing his 5,000th game. The 66-year-old Cardinal skipper. He started his managerial career as a 34-year-old with a. Think about this. He's been managing in the major leagues continuously since 1979. Had that brief break before he went to the Oakland Athletics. He has won World Series championships in both leagues, joining Sparky Anderson.
And has pretty much had the same coaching staff around him. I mean, Dave Duncan and Dave McKay. His trainer has been consistent throughout the years.
4 times the manager of the year. As Rasmus rolls one out to Counsell. He goes to the bag, inning over. Narveson threw 4. He's working on a shutout. The Brewers lead 2-0.
And I think about it. I think a lot like I do about career wins. It's you got to be in great places to have this kind of longevity. And whether it was the White Sox, the A's, and now the Cardinals, I've never been in a bad situation. And when you're not, things fall into place for you.
Tony La Russa earlier today commenting on managing his 5,000th game and his trusted pitching coach Dave Duncan there beside him. Spent 8 years as the manager of the White Sox. It was interesting that I'm not sure you would see this any longer, but La Russa was let go by the White Sox after 90 games. He ended up managing that same year in 1986 in Oakland. And then, of course, that's where the success really started to happen for La Russa with the Oakland Athletics.
Of those 5,000 games that he's managed, how many late lineup changes do you think he had?
Outfield swaps.
He's been a good one, but sometimes, he can be a bit frustrating with those lineup changes and the conspiracy theories that sometimes Tony will subscribe to. Cameras by the dugout, people trying to steal his secrets. He's one of those guys that you love having as a manager, but on the other side of the field, he drives you nuts.
Well, fielder in a 3-1 count, and Loesch misses inside. Ball 4. That is the second walk issued by Loesch. He normally doesn't walk many. Already 2 tonight, and the Brewers with a base runner to start the 4th. Check the AT&T trivia question. Which 2 managers have won the most Manager of the Year awards since 1983? Which was La Russa's first Manager of the Year award. That was with the Chicago White Sox. The first place finish with the White Sox. He had 3 pennants with the Athletics. He spent 10 years in Oakland. This is his 16th season in St. Louis. La Russa said last year he'll manage the Cardinals as long as Dave Duncan is the pitching coach.
Yeah,
Duncan is the one who's been the free agent every year.
Right.
And once Duncan's deal gets signed every year, then La Russa signs his. Speaking of his coaching staff.
One of the most famous pitching coaches of all time, and he wasn't even a pitcher. He was a catcher. That should tell you how important catchers are in this game, right?
When you hear the common phrase, the Dave Duncan Reclamation Project, he's had so many. One of them is on the mound tonight, and Kyle Loesch.
You weren't with me on the catching comment then, I guess.
I could see it.
Just let it go.
I mean, I think you'd make a fine pitching coach.
Oh, no. Too much work. Did you ever see Rick Kranitz, in that clubhouse with all that paper?
Very frantic. He has a frantic disposition about him most of the time.
I'm telling you. Not like the old days. Up and in, down and away. That's how you pitch guys. Too complicated these days.
Rick Kranitz scurries about all day. And then he, on the road, they finally end up on the bus back to the hotel, and he just collapses in the seat.
Out like a light.
Pitching coaches have a very hard job. It is amazing that Dave Duncan has been able to stay around as long as he had. You have to be successful. The runner goes, and a base hit for McGee on a hit and run. Fielder all the way to third. And how about that to get a cool bat heated up? A hit and run called by the manager.
Yep, the 3-2 pitch, and Prince on his horse, taking off, counting on McGee to make contact, and that's exactly what he did. It didn't even look like that was a strike. Fastball off the corner, and McGee gets on top of it. And because Albert holding Prince, he's not able to get there, and the Brewers in business once again. First and third, a beauty.
I'm not sure if the Cardinals wanted Pujols to cover the line or not, but he did not make much of a move off that bag when Fielder broke, and that cost the Cardinals. Now Corey Hart with runners at the corners and nobody out.
Kind of a surprise move by Ron Renicky, sending Prince. And we talked about how difficult it is to run on Kyle Loesch and Yadier Molina, and Casey's been scuffling, but it worked. Well, you swing and a miss there, and you're out of the inning. You're probably going to have Fielder thrown out at second.
Instead, runners at the corners now. Hart trying to drive him in inside for a ball. Tony La Russa has been dealing with a bout of shingles this year. That's why he's wearing the sunglasses even at night. A lot of troubles with his eyes. A breaking ball missed. Strike on Hart.
Yeah, good take that time by Corey Hart. That's the nemesis pitch for a lot of right-handed batters against Loesch. That slider. He's got a very late break to it.
And it's 3-1. Loesch is coming off a start where he gave up 11 hits his last time out. But he still pitched well. Kept the Cardinals in it. He's second in the league in ERA to start play today. 2.41 earned run average. Hard, a little tapper. This is going to get a run home as Fielder to the plate, the slide, and he is out. I beg your pardon. Fielder out at home. A great throw from Pujols. Well, I didn't think the Cardinals had a chance, but they get Fielder at home plate.
Yep, a little bit of a hesitation by Fielder, and that's all it took. Good throw by Pujols, right on the money. Prince, not a very big lead. I mean, he was basically standing on third base. That's why he was out at home. A lot of times you'll see that runner get a little bit of a lead and then a big secondary lead once the ball is on its way to home plate. But Bridges is basically standing on third.
Well, it looked like Fielder got a foot in there before the tag. And Pujols cuts down the lead runner. Well, you be the judge. Ron Culpa right on top of it. The foot there.
Sure why he didn't go after the knee. He went for the foot, and the foot actually got the home plate before the tag.
That could be a big play in this game. Now the Cardinals had the benefit of the right base runner in the right spot. The first out of the inning, first and second now. And here is Craig Counsell. Counsell tripled to start the third inning. His first triple since '09. Got 8 triples that season. Did not have a 3-bagger all of last season. Got McGee out at second. Corey Hart at first. He had a big impact on this game. And a breaking ball strike.
And one of the rare curveballs that you're going to see from Kyle Loach. He will flip that up from time to time. Curveballs, change-ups from. It's predominantly fastball slider to right-handers.
And a throw behind McGee. Casey just back. Molina never afraid to show off that great arm of his.
Yeah, man, that'll keep Casey a little bit closer to second base. Perhaps make it tougher to score on a base hit.
Cardinals have strong arms in center field and right field tonight. Down in the dirt. Nice block from Molina. Counsell would love to send one down one of the lines again. McGee not a fast runner at second base. Hart very fast over at first. One gone. And a 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, to shoot one down that left field line, 2 runs are going to come across. And Counsell is very good at doing that with 2 strikes.
Giving him a lot of room down that third base and left field line. Counsell's triple in the third inning was pulled. Bounced it off the right field wall. And that one's low. Boy, Craig Counsell having a night tonight. What an at-bat. Just add one more to the reel, and it has been a highlight reel of impressive plays. First, the acrobatic tag, getting Terrio back in the third inning, and then the first man up in the bottom of the third. Counsell triples, and then a great slide to score the first run of the game.
Well, look at Ron Culpa, the home plate umpire, right on it. He could have easily called Counsell out because the ball beat him, but he was right on it. He saw Counsell get the point of the plate and the missed tag. And first run for the Brewers.
Now he adds a walk to his triple, and it's going to be Jonathan Lucroy, 1 out, bases loaded. Chance for the Brewers to do some damage. Ron Renicky was commenting on the bottom of the order with opportunities to tack on runs or come up with big innings in spots such as these. And while Renicky has been tempted to move Lucroy up in the order, and he's flirted with the notion of Lucroy batting 5th, maybe even 2nd at times, he keeps him down in the 8th spot to give the Brewers lineup just a little punch at the bottom of the order in front of the pitcher.
Yeah, a guy that can scare you a little bit, hit the ball out of the ballpark. You make a mistake on him.
Foul territory. Pujols will give it a look. It's in the seats.
That's one that Jonathan, I think, would like to have back. That was a hanging curveball. Kyle Lowe's scuffling out there a little bit. He's got 3 walks already tonight, and he came in with only 15 walks in his first 12 starts. There's that breaking ball that did nothing. A little cement mixer up there, just spun up there and got away with it.
And Lucroy down, a ball and 2 strikes. McGee over at third, Hart at second with Counsell at first. And down goes Lucroy. Out number 2. A big strikeout for Loesch.
Yep, sinker down and in, and Jonathan over the top of it. Swung at a pitch out of the strike zone.
And now Loesch away out of this inning. He's got the pitcher coming up, and Chris Narveson, albeit a good hitting pitcher. Bases loaded, 2 away. Brewers with 2 walks and a hit. 4 base runners in this inning, and yet they have not scored. Narveson has 4 hits this year. Drove in the first run of the game on a safety squeeze. Dropped down a perfect bunt. And a bouncing ball to second. The Cardinals are going to get out of the inning. The Brewers get 0. Strand, the bases loaded. Still 2-0 Milwaukee.
For Brewers baseball at the Tommy Bartlett Show. We're enjoying the game from here. Don't forget the Dells just an hour and a half from Milwaukee. Now, who's flipping? BA for Rock or Rock for BA?
Neither, Craig, neither. We stay in our own lanes. This week, Fox Saturday Baseball returns as the Cubs head to Philadelphia. They take on the National League East leading Phillies. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 3 p.m. Central. It'll be on Fox.
Cubs have gotten hot. They won 2 in a row. Phillies leading tonight.
One more to check off the list, right? I like that. Spring training, regular season, postseason. Well, the Brewers let a big opportunity go by. Hopefully that won't come back to get them. Stranding, the bases loaded. And here we go to the 5th inning. Narveson has been outstanding so far. 4 scoreless, just 3 hits allowed. The Brewers have Greinke and Markham scheduled to pitch in the final 2 games of the series. tomorrow the matchup is a beauty. A Cy Young Award matchup. Zach Greinke against Chris Carpenter tomorrow. Sean Markham against Jake Westbrook on Sunday, the matinee Sunday. See the Cardinals hitting coach Mark McGwire in the spot with the Cardinals at the plate. Two balls and a strike on Molina. Double down the right field line his last time up. Molina likely headed back to the All-Star game. Certainly having an All-Star season and likely to be voted as the National League's representative behind the plate.
He's a guy that has really improved his offense over the years. He's hitting over 300, not much of a power threat at the plate. Always seems to come up with clutch hits, and the reason for that, he very rarely strikes out. Puts the ball in play.
Got him. Narveson peels off the inside corner to strike out Molina. Strikeout number 5 for Chris Narveson.
All of that, and to say nothing about his solid defense behind home plate. Well, everything away to Molina, and then he shot the inside corner and got it. Strike 3, his 5th strikeout. 3 of them called. Tonight's Tower of the Game winners, the North and St. Germain. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Doorway to the north. I like that.
Beautiful up there.
I thought you were the doorway to the north.
Beautiful up in St. Germain. Eagle River, up in that area.
That's your off-season trip every year, right?
Yeah, October.
Little tapper. Narveson pouncing. Got to hurry. The throw just in time to get Green. Boy, what a play that was from Chris Narveson. The Cardinals disagree. Green thought he beat it out.
Now here comes Tony La Russa once again. He came out on that great tag by Craig Counsell early in the ball game. And now going to have a chat out there with Angel Campos at first base. And Narveson never panicked. He set himself, made a good throw, and it looked as though he just barely got Colby Rasmus or Tyler Green. And yes, he did. He got him out.
So La Russa's made a few trips out on the field. Boy, we've had some close plays already in this game. One at second. We've had a couple at first, a couple at the plate already. Umpires are being challenged tonight. 2 outs, and here is Descalso, and swings away at the first pitch. Counsell winds up and throws him out, gets him by a half a step. Nice inning for Narveson. 3 up and 3 down with a K. Under the closed roof of Miller Park, 2-0. The Brewers have the lead over the Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning now. Top of the order coming up against Kyle Loesch. Ricky Weeks, Nigel Morgan, and Ryan Braun will start it for Milwaukee. The Brewers had the bases loaded, just 1 out in the 4th inning, and could not score. Had plenty of opportunities to scratch a couple of runs across. There's a big bouncing ball that's going to sneak through, a base hit. And Ricky Weeks aboard to start the 5th inning. The Brewers in 3 innings have had their leadoff hitter aboard.
Well, fastball up, and Ricky able to get on top of it. Got the top spin as it hits right in front of home plate. Picks up a little bit of speed on that second hop and into center field. So good speed at first base to start things off.
And it'll be Nigel Morgan. A single and a sacrifice fly. He drove in the second Brewers run, part of that 2-run 3rd inning. And a bunt. Loesch will make the play. Morgan retired. A sacrifice bunt for Nigel Morgan. And Weeks ends up at second base for Braun.
Yeah, why not, right? You got a pitcher out there that very rarely gives up many runs, so you have to take your opportunities. You get a leadoff base run. You got Braun and Fielder coming up. You get him to second base. Good bunt by Niger. He gets the job done.
So here is Braun with a chance to add to the lead. A base hit should score Weeks. Braun is 0 for 2. A couple of outs in the air. Flew out to right in the 1st inning. Flew out to center field in the 3rd. Both of the Brewers' runs coming in on sacrifices. A sac fly and a sac bunt, which ended up as a safety squeeze for Milwaukee in the 3rd inning. Narveson, the man who dropped down the bunt.
They had 2 runs on 1 hit. It was a leadoff triple. Yeah, Brewers executing very well in that inning. Did not do a very good job of executing in the 4th.
Cardinals were able to cut down Fielder with nobody out. Pujols threw him out at the plate. And then Loesch with a strikeout and a ground out with the bases loaded to end the inning. As much as Ron Renicky enjoys the small ball, likes putting the wheels in motion, he would love nothing more than to play a good old-fashioned American League style baseball when Braun and Fielder come up.
He's been getting a lot of it.
Braun with 13 home runs, 45 driven in. Loesch misses and a 3-1 count. There is a base open at first, but you've got Fielder on deck.
It's not about that. Loesch is not missing by much. It's just Ryan Braun with a very good eye at the plate.
And now Braun's put himself in a good hitter's count. Chased one. 3-2.
Well, not even close. You don't see Brawny do that much.
See what Loesch does with him here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a little tapper. Braun just hanging in there right at the bottom of the zone.
Loesch getting a lot of mileage out of that down and in 2-seamer. Struck out Lucroy on it. He's got some outs with that pitch tonight. He tried to do it again to Braun.
Another 3-2. Weeks out at second base. And Braun rips one right center field. This is way back. And that ball is up and out of here. A 2-run home run for Ryan Braun. On a 2-strike pitch. 4-0 Milwaukee as Braun belts his 14th of the season.
Well, he swung at that 3-1 slider because he didn't want to walk. He fouled off a 2-seamer down and in and got a slider right down the middle. And Ryan Braun drives the gap into right center. And it's got carry on it. Oh, that's a pretty swing. Look at that. Down and through. Gets on top of it. Gets the backspin. And see you later.
Braun's first home run since his dramatic game-winning home run against the Marlins. And number 14 of the year for Ryan Braun. Impressive power to the opposite field. That ball had some carry to it.
A hanging slider, and you hang a middle speed pitch like that to Ryan Braun, you're not going to get it back too often. Some kind of hitter.
Well, gives the Brewers a little cushion here. Answers a missed opportunity in the fourth. On a 3-2 pitch, Braun goes deep to the opposite field. Just snuck it over the wall. The fielder hit by a pitch. Got him with an 0-2 pitch. And fielder will take his base. Kyle Loesch upset. He thought fielder had stuck his elbow out.
Man, he didn't try very hard to get out of the way, and here comes Tony La Russa to have a chat. And Tony's been out there 3 times already tonight. You could see how Kyle Loesch would think that Prince not only didn't try to get out of the way, but let it hit him on an 0-2 pitch. He'll take that any day. I don't think that's obvious enough for the umpire to call that. It's got to be a little bit more obvious. Brewers have had some players that would literally throw that knee out there and get hit. No longer with the ball club, but they used to do it. Fernando Vina.
A wise old trick, not to name names.
Nando used to do it all the time.
So here is McGee now. Remember last time the Brewers had a man in motion, they put fielder in motion on a 3-2 pitch to McGee. And it is not a combination you see very often. Fielder in motion, unless it's 3-2 with 2 outs. What do you think that conversation's all about, Rock? I mean, Michael Milken is in the ballpark tonight.
Might be, their free agent year. Talking about what's going to happen.
You could find plenty of financial advice if they were looking for
I'll
it.
sign right after you.
Quick trip to the mound for Dave Duncan.
One of them says to the other. You would think that Albert Pujols is going to set the market if, in fact, he's going to be a free agent. And everybody else will fall in line after that. And if Pujols ends up signing with the Cardinals, you would figure that Fielder's going to set the market. So one of the two of them are going to do it. Unless, of course, the Brewers are able to sign Prince before that happens.
Both players have stated publicly that they do not want to discuss free agency until the season is over. That could always change. You never know if conversations are going on between management and agent, but publicly both players are not in discussion right now. So Duncan has had his say. And here is McGee ahead in the count, and a swing and a miss. He chased a breaking ball. McGee 1 for 2 tonight.
It's been a bit of a struggle for Kyle Loesch tonight. I mean, he has pitched very well this year. He's had a tough time beating the Brewers. Has not beating the Brewers in his career as a member of the Cardinals. Last time he beat the Brewers was when he was with the Reds.
A bouncing ball to Terrio to second for one. There is a double play. Tough luck for McGee. Hit it sharply. Inning is over, but Ryan Braun delivers. Takes a 3-2 pitch over the wall in right center. A 2-run homer. And it's 4-0 Milwaukee. Here at Fox Sports Wisconsin. 4-0 the Brewers lead the St. Louis Cardinals. First game of this 3-game series, and a pinch hitter for Kyle Loesch, who is lifted after 5 innings. Matt Carpenter pinch hitting for the Redbirds as Tony La Russa is barking at home plate umpire Ron Kolpa. There have been a number of second looks by Cardinal players, which is usually an indication for the manager to go out and protect them and have a word with the umpire. And La Russa's been out a bunch today.
Yeah, that's always good news for the home team when Tony La Russa is upset with the umpiring crew. You don't want Tony to sit there content in that dugout. That means things are going well.
That's right. I was talking to Ryan Ludwig this offseason, the former Cardinal. He was traded to the Padres last year. And you were talking about that cocoon as a Cardinal player that you're in.
Yeah.
Ryan Ludwig said he was traded. He had no idea the animosity that other teams feel toward the Cardinals until he was traded away, as Matt Carpenter draws the walk. I mean, he creates headlines when he feels the club needs it. He takes a lot of heat and a lot of the spotlight away from the play on the field when it requires such, and when they're going well, he kind of stands back.
And if you're Tony La Russa, you love that. You know, teams not. That means you're winning a lot and you're beating other teams. You know, nobody's going to have any animosity, you know, to a team that is constantly getting beat up.
Terrio sends one foul territory. That's in the seats.
You don't want to be a lovable loser. But it's perhaps other things that, you know, irritate teams and fans about the Cardinals. Tony La Russa, you know, some of the things that he will do and say throughout a game, and changing lineups right at the last minute. That always infuriates broadcasters, messes up the scorebook.
Terrio down the right field line. Long run. Corey Hart reaches out, and he has got it. Corey Hart with a great catch. What a play in right field. Well, we have seen this game tonight.
Ryan Theriot, a very good opposite field hitter. Corey Hart not playing very deep for Theriot, not known for his power, but able to angle back and get it in fair territory. And two-handed it. You love to see that. How about Corey Hart with the two-hander?
Well, you rarely see that anymore.
Yeah, making sure. Sometimes when you are running at full speed and you're approaching a wall, sometimes that ball's going to bounce around on you, so you two-hand it to make sure.
Bouncer back to the mound. Chance for two. A high throw. They get the out at second. Safe at first. And Narveson upset with himself. A good throw, and it starts an easy 1-6-3 double play.
Yeah, you hit counts on the chest, and you don't have to deal with Albert Pujols with the man on base. The Brewers not able to turn it. Now Albert up. Extends the inning. You never want to do that. Another good off-speed pitch by Narveson, and not a good throw. Cost him a double play.
Well, that put Craig Counsell in a very vulnerable position on the bag at second base. Luckily, Carpenter didn't go in there heavy on him, or else could have done some damage. Anytime you're planting your front leg on the bag as a runner is sliding in, you're in a tough spot as a fielder. And now Narveson deals with Pujols, who singled his last time up. Bouncing ball to short. Counsell to second. Inning over. Side retired as Narveson pitches around a leadoff walk. 4-0 Brewers. Is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. 4-0 Milwaukee as we head to the Brewer half of the sixth inning. And how times have changed for Ryan Franklin. He was their closer to start the year. He is now pitching in the sixth inning with his club trailing 4-0.
Yeah, look at the earned run average, over 7, 1 for 5 in save opportunities. Franklin had accumulated over the last two seasons, 09 and 2010, 65 saves. No longer, obviously, the closer here in St. Louis.
So Franklin will face Corey Hart to start it. Kyle Lohse goes 5 innings, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. And 3 walks tonight for Lohse. It's a big home run for Ryan Braun in the 5th inning to stretch the lead. Brewers coming off a series where they dropped 2 out of 3 to the man. While the Cardinals arrive, having won 2 out of 3 from the Astros. And it is a bit of an enigma how the Cardinals have maintained such good play. 12 games over 500 without Albert Pujols for most of the year until recently being his normal self. Without an established closer. And without Adam Wainwright. As Hart sends one deep to right field. Back is John Jay. Go! Corey Hart. Number 6. And it's 5-0 Brewers.
In typical Corey Hart fashion, high drive into right center. He always gets under him, and they just seem to never come down until they're out of the ballpark. Then check it out. Yeah, breaking ball that was right down the heart of the plate, and you can see the extension by Corey. And he gets it on the sweet spot, doing a nice job taking it to the opposite field. High, majestic drive into that Cardinal pen.
And now Craig Counsell sends one to left field. Pitch from Franklin.
And Ryan Franklin has given up 32 hits in 21 2/3 innings. It's an incredible amount of hits. And 5 of them home runs, including that one by Corey.
Craig Counsell with 2 hits tonight and a walk. By the way, that home run for Hart, his first since May 31st when he homered in Cincinnati. 5-0 Crew. Here's Lucroy now. And he drops a bunt down. It's a good one. Franklin makes the play to first. Sacrifice bunt for Jonathan Lucroy. Interesting move there.
Man, real interesting. Up 5-0. The pitcher coming up. Not sure if he did that on his own or that was a call from the bench, but that's something you don't see much of. Number 8 hitter dropping down a bunt for the pitcher. That doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. Smoke Billy. Lowe's level. Well, one gone. And here comes Narveson. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Narveson drove in the first Brewers run on a safety squeeze bunt back in the 3rd inning. As good of a hitter as Narveson is, the last thing you'd expect from an 8th place hitter is a sacrifice bunt to get to him.
Yeah.
Franklin misses inside. 2 balls and a strike.
I'm trying to figure out the strategy that the Brewers are incorporating with having Lucroy drop down a bunt like that with the score the way it is. Certainly not a huge lead, but a lead that you would not expect Lucroy to go up there and bunt.
Are you having a tough time coming up with an answer?
I am, in all honesty. You can understand it if Narveson was no longer going to be pitching and they pinch hit for him, but that's not the case.
Well, that'll be a question we will ask Ron Renicky tonight. I'm not sure he'd admit it or not. It doesn't seem like something that would come from the bench, but you never know. Three balls, 2 strikes. Counsell out at second base. And a swing and a miss. Narveson strikes out number 2. I'll take you back to our AT&T trivia. Question was, which 2 managers have won the most Manager of the Year awards since 1983? Tony La Russa has 4. Bobby Cox The recently retired Braves manager also with 4. 2 legendary managers. Cox certainly headed to the Hall of Fame for his managerial success. La Russa is still at it.
Be nice to be a fly on the wall between those 2 guys, sitting down, having a cocktail, talking baseball. I think you'd learn a few things, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Do you think there's been anything, or there could possibly be a situation that they have not seen? I doubt it.
I wonder how Bobby Cox is handling his retirement. We talked to Bobby last year. We said, well, are you sure you want to retire? He goes, no, I'm not, but my wife booked a prepaid cruise in April and she knows where it hurts me the most in the pocketbook. So there's no way I'm going to manage because I'm getting on that cruise.
Not going to pay any penalties.
That was pretty smart.
Yeah. I think she deserved it, don't you think?
Absolutely. I don't know, maybe after a year she might want to have him manage again. There's a base hit. This is going to get a run home as that one goes to the corner. Weeks on his way to second. Counsell scores. And it's 6-0 Milwaukee. What a night for the bats to come loose tonight.
Well, Ron Renegie's saying he needs some production out of the guys around Braun and Fielder. He's certainly gotten it tonight. Braun's got the 2-run home run, but Ricky's had a good night at the plate. Corey Hart with a home run. Counsell with a couple of hits. It has been a good night offensively up and down that batting order. But you can never have enough against the Cardinals. They lead the league in runs scored.
And a lot of smiles in that Brewers dugout. 2 outs. Weeks at second base. Here is Nigel Morgan.
So now that answers the question as to why Lucroy was up there to bunt.
Although it's unlikely he would have scored had he been at first base. Craig Counsell. It's no reflection on your analysis. As Morgan sends one to left and Berkman's got it for the out. Inning over. It's going to be an exciting Brewers Live after the game. Well, the inning started with a Corey Hart home run. Opposite field, majestic fly ball that finds the bullpen.
ball. Chris Narveson with the sacrifice. Safety squeeze to put the Crew on the board first. And then Nigel Morgan would follow that up with a sacrifice fly to left to make it a 2-0 game. But in the bottom of the 5th, Ryan Braun goes big fly for the 2-run home run. And then in the 6th is Corey Hart with a solo shot of his own. His 6th of the season to make it a 5-0 game. And is now 6-0 here in the top of the 7th, B.A.
All right, Telly, thanks. And we are pleased to report the kettle corn fire has been put out. There's a bouncer right back 2 weeks. Well positioned out there. And Lance Berkman is retired. No, nothing goes with blackened kettle corn like a cold Miller Lite. And our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Cardinals tomorrow. We're on WMLW tomorrow. 6 p.m. is airtime. And then back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday afternoon. Greinke and Carpenter tomorrow. Sunday will be Sean Markham against Jake Westbrook. Brewers are headed to Chicago on Monday. First trip to Wrigley Field. Things are a little hazy here at Miller Park as they ventilate the smoke out of the stadium. Did a nice job putting that fire out. I suppose a fly ball to right field might come with some caution.
Played in worse fog at County Stadium than that. I remember a game against the White Sox back in County Stadium. I was actually a broadcaster at the time, could barely see. They had to delay the game. It was a long delay. Fog coming off Lake Michigan happened quite a bit. That out there is nothing.
Push through, overcome,
press on.
The bigger challenge will be the fragrance in the ballpark right now. You pride yourself at a baseball stadium. Every stadium operator start popping the popcorn early. Get that smell, those hot dogs, the brats. But right now it's going to be a bit of a delay in that regard because charred kettle corn has gone afoul here. It's a violation of the census, Rock. Bouncing ball through, a base hit. Colby Rasmus singles to right.
It'll be gone. Doesn't smell nearly as bad with a 6-0 lead.
That's a very good point. We'll see if Narveson can keep it going. Working on a 4-hit shutout now. Narveson has only issued the 1 walk. Narveson had 5 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. So a walk, 5 strikeouts, 6 1/3 at this point. He needed this kind of outing. And Ron Renicky hoping to get at least 1 more out of him, maybe 2 more. His pitch count only at 90. There's a chance that he could go into the 8th inning. It's a bouncing ball. McGee to second, and the out there to first. The out there. A slow developing double play with the slow moving Yadier Molina. And a 5-4-3 double play. Barely out at both locations, but Narveson is through 7 and still working on a shutout.
Telly Hughes, Davey Nelson getting you set for Brewers Live following today's game. And Davey, Chris Narveson came in always trying to avoid that big inning, and he's done that through 7.
Well, he certainly has, and I think it was an important outing for Chris just because, you know, in his last 2 starts, he went 4 innings and then 3 1/3 innings prior to that. So, you know, it was important for him to go out and have a good outing.
And that early lead has also helped Chris Narveson's calls. And coming up after the game, we'll take a look at Chris Narveson's night. We'll also look at the Brewers bats and our on-field instructional, all coming up on Brewers Live following the game. B.A.
All right, thanks, Telly. Davey, looking forward to Brewers Live coming up. 6-0 Crew as we head to the Brewer half of the 7th, and Ryan Braun will lead off. Braun, Fielder, and McGee due up against Ryan Franklin. Big cut and a miss. Now, if the Brewers go on to win this game, I think one of the big moments of this game was Braun's 2-run homer in the 5th inning. It was a 3-2 count. And Braun sent one over the right center field wall with his 14th home run of the season. Now 47 runs batted in.
Yeah, Braun and Fielder have combined for more home runs as a tandem in the National League than any other with 31. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, Ryan Braun on a 3-2 slider, whacking it into right center. And Ryan Braun continues to swing the bat well.
As he strikes out here in the 7th. But the home run rock comes after the Brewers squandered a great opportunity in the 4th inning. You know, there's a little pressure dialed up. There's been a lot of talk about delivering the runs, adding runs. Someone outside Braun and Fielder. Brewers left the bases loaded in the 4th inning, and then all of a sudden Braun hits a home run and sets him at ease a little bit.
That's a big deal for guys up here at the Lowe's level. You know, the press box, people talking about that. The players don't really pay much attention to that. But it's good to see the guys around Braun and Fielder getting it done here tonight. I was looking at those duos, the home run duos. Mark Teixeira and Curtis Granderson with 36 home runs. Well, Curtis Granderson.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
I mean, that's an amazing number of home runs. That's not a guy you think about as being a big power hitter.
You know, Granderson had that 30 home run season in Detroit 2 years ago, and they felt that it would translate very well to Yankee Stadium. He didn't have those kind of home run numbers at Yankee Stadium last year. But he's on a pace this year to hit 40 or 50 if he keeps it up. He's in the right ballpark to do it.
And talking about a bandbox, the Brewers go into Yankee Stadium the end of the month. That'd be a lot of fun getting into new Yankee Stadium. That should be some fireworks there, huh?
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Brewers lineup go to work in that ballpark. Not just with Fielder, the left-handed power hitter, as he draws. When you think about Yankee Stadium, that short porch in right field, there's very little power alley in right center. And the Brewers' right-handed hitters, most of which have big power to right center and right field. Guys like Braun and McGee and Hart.
Well, first things first, the Brewers have a 3-game series here. Go to Chicago and then Boston. Talking about a fun interleague schedule for the fans and us, but that's a tough road to hoe for that team. You know, down on the field.
The Brewers go to Boston, to New York to play the Yankees. They have a home and home with the Twins, and then a home series with the Tampa Bay Rays. So they'll face the 3 best teams in the American League East, and an interleague rivalry with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, the worst record of the 3, Boston, New York, and Tampa, 33-29. That's the worst record of the 3.
And McGee takes a call at strike 3. Second out of the inning, second strikeout for Franklin.
Yeah, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the Tampa Bay Rays June 20th through the 22nd during Green Week. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com to get your tickets today.
That's the week we're going to break out the green jackets, right?
Yeah, we got a bunch of them hanging up in the back. Is that all week or is that just one day?
I'm not sure. I think it's a one-day thing, but perhaps by popular demand it might return. It's kind of nice. Makes me feel like I won the Masters. Your green jacket looks especially good. You wear green well, Rock. Why is that?
Oh, on me? You talking about?
You fire up a bow tie and the green jacket.
I may go with bow tie on the green jacket day. Of course, I'd have to buy a new bow tie. I don't have one that goes with green.
What are you thinking? What color are you thinking? What does go with green? Yellow?
Packer color. Could wear it to Lambeau this winter.
Yes, you could. Be a good look for you. A strike to Hart. 1-2 the count. How many bow ties have you worn this season, Rock?
Only on special occasions. I think it's 3.
The same bow tie or different bow ties?
A different bow tie. Opening day here.
I think you should auction off your bow ties.
Mother's Day.
Did you have a pink bow tie for Mother's Day?
Yes, I did. I had pink in it.
Very few people can get away with a bow tie. You're one of them.
Me and Chris Welch.
I don't even think he can get away with it, to be honest with you.
It doesn't look good in it. It's unfortunate.
Six nothing Crew with 2 outs in the 7th. Hart homered his last time up. Franklin's first batter faced.
The other bow tie day was Easter. I'm sitting here grinding away thinking about when the other day was. Now I will be able to sleep tonight.
I think you're onto something. Lovable Brewers analyst, Bill Schroeder.
The next bow tie day will be Father's Day.
Oh, nice. See, that's why you need a Twitter account. I think you're ready for it. That would be an ideal tweet right there.
What?
Yeah. Full count, 2 outs. Fielder takes off, and a swing and a miss. The inning is over. A scoreless inning for Franklin. 6-0 Brewers. We go to the 8th. Division rivals matching up. The Brewers down 2.5 in the standings to start play today to the Redbirds. A win tonight would get them within a game and a half. It would be win number 36 of the season for the Brewers. See if Narveson can keep it rolling here. He becomes the big story tonight. He's working on a 4-hit shutout, the best hitting team in the National League statistically, the St. Louis Cardinals. And Narveson has shut him down. Narveson's pitch count in good shape. He is at 93 right now. Tack on runs important tonight. The Brewers with 2 in the 3rd. A 2-run homer by Braun in the 5th inning. Added 2 more in the 6th. Corey Hart had a home run. Ricky Weeks with an RBI hit. Line drive to right, and Hart is right there for out number 1. All right, Rock, our text question tonight. Lance wants to know, what is the difference between a suicide and safety squeeze?
Well, a suicide squeeze is when the runner from 3rd takes off once the pitcher releases the baseball. Ergo, the suicide, the pitcher or the bunter does not make contact with the ball. He's going to be out easily. The runner is. Safety squeeze is the runner takes a big lead down the line, figures out where that bunt's going to fall, whether he can make it or not, and he takes off accordingly.
Now the Brewers pulled off a perfect safety squeeze in the 3rd inning. It was Narveson who dropped the bunt down. Counsell scored the run. Descalso ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike now.
Boy, how huge would it be for the Brewers in this stretch of days without a day off for Narveson to be able to finish this one out? That would be a big shot in the arm to this bullpen.
Narveson has never had a complete game in the major leagues. His longest outing in the big leagues came last year against Seattle. He went 8 innings. And he's trying to get through 8, at least 8 here tonight. 1 man gone here in the Cardinal half of the 8th inning. And a 3-2 count on Daniel Descalso. Cameron Lowe in case there is any trouble. Into center field, a base hit. Descalso singles. Cardinals with their 5th hit.
Well, Narveson wasn't about to walk a batter with a 6-0 lead, so he keeps pouring into fastballs once he got behind, and Descalso able to fight it off. He got it in on him, did Narveson, but able to muscle it into center.
And Jonathan Lucroy will be joined by Rick Kranitz. Quick scouting report, I suppose. Tony Cruz is the announced pinch hitter.
Cruz, the backup catcher for the Cardinals. Gerald Laird on a disabled list. He was the backup to Yadier Molina the last time the Brewers and Cardinals met in St. Louis. So add another to the DL list for the Cardinals, their other catcher.
Runner at first and 1 away. And Tony Cruz, the hitter. Narveson has issued just 1 walk tonight. He's struck out 5. And only 5 hits. 4 singles and a double for the Cardinals. Good changeup. Swing and a miss from Cruz.
He's been deadly with that pitch all night long. He's been able to keep it down in the zone. He's been able to keep it over the plate. Has been very careful with the curveball. Had thrown too many of those tonight. It's been basically changeup fastball.
Narvison's longest outing of the year, 7 1/3. He did that against the Padres. Took a no decision that day against San Diego. That one's hit well right field. Back is Hart. He's got it. And a line drive out from Tony Cruz, out number 2 of the 8th inning. Well, Narvison needed an outing like this. He had given up 15 earned runs in his last 3 starts. Covering just over 12 innings. Top of the order, Ryan Theriot. Theriot is 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd inning. Hit his first Cardinal home run yesterday, a day after his 20-game hit streak ended in Houston. That was a good fastball.
Yeah, Corey Hart made a tremendous play down the right field line to rob Theriot of extra bases back in the 6th.
A hot one into left field, a base hit. So the Cardinals putting up their best threat of the night here in the 8th inning. And easing dangerously close to Albert Pujols, who is now on deck.
Yeah, the first time the Cardinals have had a man at second base since back in the 2nd inning. It was a 2-out double by Molina, but Narvison got green on the strikeout.
Now this could be Narvison's last hitter. Got Cameron Lode loosening in the bullpen. Pujols on deck. And if Pujols comes up, he's got a chance to bring the Cardinals within a pair. John Jay hitless tonight, 0 for 3. Big swing and a miss. Fooled him badly. 1-1.
A little cut on that pitch, 83 miles an hour. And John Jay looking to hit that one out of the ballpark. Pulled his head.
Big hitter for Narvison. As big as a hitter can be in a 6-0 game. That one just missed. Well, you're always looking down the lineup card. And whenever you have to deal with Albert Pujols with men on base, puts you in a bad spot. Berkman follows Pujols. That is 3 balls and a strike. Can he finish it off? His last hitter, most likely. 3 balls and a strike. Crowd trying to help him out. And that one's in there. Strike 2. The bottom of the strike zone. Full count now. The runners will get a head start. If Narvison strikes out Jay, Miller Park will be on its ear. Narvison strikes out John Jay, leaves Pujols in the on-deck circle, and still a shutout. me, 6-0, the Brewers lead. Do you have something to say?
We're so excited. We're both talking at once. Wow. Yeah, 6-0 Crew. And submit a photo of your dog dressed in Brewers gear to the Brewers team store by Majestic, and you can have a chance to win great prizes. Stop in the Brewers team store by Majestic at Miller Park for details. Now you can go. Go ahead.
New pitcher, Rock?
Yep, Brian Talent, his 13th appearance this year, a 6.00 earned run average. 2 left-handers down in that bullpen for Tony La Russa. Trevor Miller, the other.
I'll go now. Counsell takes a ball. How about the night of Craig Counsell tonight?
2 for 2, a walk, 2 runs scored. Not a bad night at the plate.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's. And a terrific defensive play. And a beautiful slide as he falls down on a big cut. That might come up later.
Kangaroo court box.
He's done a lot of running tonight. You can understand. Down the line, and that is a fair ball. Bounces off the sidewall. Counsell into second with a double. A single, a double, a triple. A home run away from the cycle for Craig Counsell as he leads off the 8th with an extra base hit.
Yeah, came close to that home run his first at bat. A little bit more toward the right field line. He would have had that home run. Well, Counsell on a 2-strike pitch. Able to slice it down the left field line. That was actually a 1-1 count. And just inside that left field line, almost hit the chalk. A leadoff double for Counts. Making a bid to get another start tomorrow.
Well, very tempting for his manager, you would think at this point. His first 3-hit game of the season. Counsell's done a nice job defensively as well.
Hey, looking for a catalyst at the bottom of your order. There you go, Mr. Counsell tonight.
On base all 4 times. Scoring twice. Just checking some scores from around the National League. The Cincinnati Reds just underway with the Giants. Reds won last night. That game is scoreless. Bottom of the first inning. Phillies and the Cubs are done. Phillies won 7-5. Despite a 5-run 8th inning for Chicago. Roy Halladay picked up his 9th win tonight. 9-3. Zambrano takes a loss at 5-3. So Roy Halladay is the first to 9 wins in the National League. Cubs are 12 games under 500.
Yeah.
Brewers and the Cubs, a 4-game series starting Monday.
The Florida Marlins broke their 8-game losing streak. They beat the Diamondbacks tonight.
Lucroy, a bouncer out to short. Counsell will advance. And Lucroy retired. So Counsell ends up at third base. And Ron Renicky will go to his bench. Narvison's night is over. Josh Wilson will pinch hit.
You see the Oakland A's have lost 10 in a row.
Fired their manager.
And losing tonight.
They promoted Ricky Weeks' younger brother Jemile Weeks, trying to give him a spark at the top of the lineup. A's are trailing 5-3 to the White Sox in Chicago. I'm sure the thought crossed the mind of the family Weeks to catch Jemile in Chicago, catch Ricky here in Milwaukee. It's his first series as a big leaguer, Jemile Weeks, for the Oakland Athletics. Weeks not in the, well, check it, he is. He actually is in the starting lineup batting ninth. He had been leading off. Actually has 2 hits tonight. Bob Melvin is now managing the A's. He was a finalist for the Brewers managerial position. Josh Wilson into the gap in left center. That's down. All the way to the wall. Another run will score. And how about Josh Wilson swinging the bat this year as a Brewer?
A couple of home runs, and now he's got a double to drive in a run. His second double. Got 2 home runs, 4 extra base hits for Wilson. Fastball down and in, and he got all of it. And he rips it into the gap, a line drive, and well, the bottom of the order getting it done once again. Counsell gets the double and scores on Wilson's double.
And Wilson now 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter with 2 runs batted in. Counsell scoring 3 runs. Lucroy scored 1. And the 9th spot in the batting order with 2 runs batted in. Narveson and now Wilson. As if the players were listening to their manager's press conference last night. He called for some support around Braun and Fielder, and he got it.
And all the players are saying, all you have to do is ask.
Just ask. Just be polite about it. Just say please.
Sitting back waiting.
Weeks has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. Drove in his 27th run of the season. Narveson, a great night. 8 shutout innings against his old team, the St. Louis Cardinals. Looks like the Atlanta Braves are going to continue their role. Atlanta leading 10-2 over Houston. Astros having a rough go. Braves have won 3 straight. They swept the Marlins. After the Brewers swept the Marlins, the Braves came into Florida and took 3 in a row. Ryan Theriot makes a play for out number 2. Rockies shutting out the Dodgers 6-0. That game's in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tulowitzki is homer tonight, number 12 for Troy Tulowitzki. The Nationals just now scoring against San Diego, 2-0 Washington in the 2nd inning. Giants got a run against the Reds. Bottom of the 1st, they now move to the 2nd, 1-0 San Francisco. Mets stayed hot. They went into Pittsburgh and won tonight, 8-1. Dylan G. And before you say who, the Mets starter is 7-0.
Yeah, having a good stretch, isn't he?
7-0 with a 3.05 ERA. Dylan G. He beat Charlie Morton tonight. Jose Reyes homer. Number 2 for Reyes. Mets have a little spark here. Won a series against the Brewers in Milwaukee, and now the first win in Pittsburgh. There's a base hit. And Wilson rounding 3rd, headed home. He'll score. Nyjer Morgan having a big night. 8-0 as the Brew Crew pouring it on the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Morgan with his 2nd run batted in on his 2nd hit.
Well, he's 2 for 3. A sacrifice fly, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. So yeah, that's some good offensive nights sandwiched around Braun and Fielder tonight. Yeah, lefty versus lefty. Nyjer got a pitch away from him, able to hook it into right. And Josh Wilson comes around to score.
And now it's Braun with 2 away. 3 hits in the inning, a double by Counsell to start it. Wilson's pinch hit RBI double. And Morgan's RBI single. Braun belted his 14th home run of the season in the 5th. And a big home run it was. Took it from 2-0 to 4-0. Gave Narveson a little breathing room and opened things up offensively. Back of the 5th on a 3-2 pitch with a runner on. Braun goes deep, whistles one into the Cardinal bullpen in right center.
That breathing room homer for the Brewers. They needed that. They had opportunities to tack on, had not been able to do it until that homer.
And Braun into right, slicing over to John Jay. Inning over. But the Brewers add 1 to it, add 2 to it actually. And they lead 8-0 as we go to the 9th. Well, Chris Narveson in our Menards spotlight tonight. He was outstanding. His longest outing of the year. Rockets matched his longest outing of his career. He goes 8 shutout innings against the best hitting team in the league.
Well, it looked as though he tried to go out there and command 2 pitches and didn't throw too many curveballs. We didn't see many of those, and he was able to command those 2 pitches very well. The changeup, the fastball, very good. Got himself out of some trouble in that 8th inning. Good to see him be able to do that. 8 very big innings by Chris Narveson in a stretch where they don't have a day off until the 23rd.
Well, Nigel Morgan you see over in left field. Braun is out. Gomez takes over in center. Josh Wilson will play second base here. And Tim Dillard against Mark Hamilton. Albert Pujols lifted. Now the Brewers trying to hang shutout number 8 on the board as a pitching staff here tonight. That would be tied for the National League lead with the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Talk about a turnaround.
Yeah.
Dillard has been outstanding. Hit hard to left. Morgan right there for it.
Well, the Cardinals have only been shut out twice this year. Again, coming into play, having had the top spot in runs scored in the National League and batting average. So that's quite a feat by Chris Narveson tonight. whether the Cardinals get shut out or not.
Narveson looking to win his 3rd game of the season. He would go to 3-4. And a well-timed, outstanding pitching performance from Chris Narveson. Narveson's ERA drops to 4.32.
I think he's done a nice job as the 5th starter. You look around all of baseball at the 5th starters on every ball club. I think Narveson's done pretty well.
Well, the fact that the Brewers have really only needed one guy in that spot is a testament on its own. Most teams are rotating 5th starters, searching for anybody to fill that role. The Brewers certainly know what that feels like.
Right.
Not this year. Once Greinke returned, the 5 established starters in place and pitching well for the most part, night in, night out. I don't think there's a ball club in the league where there are not questions about the back of the rotation and middle relief. That's just the way the game is. Very few teams have 5 lockdown starters. But when your number 5 starter gives you 8 shutout innings against a first place team and a division rival, that's saying something. The Brewers already have as many shutouts this year as a pitching staff than they did all of last year. 7. One and 2 to Berkman, hitting left-handed for the first time tonight. Right off the end of the bat. Tim Dillard just continues to impress.
That changeup has been such a difference maker for him against left-handed hitters. He's getting more confidence in that pitch every time he goes out there. He has Berkman out in front on the changeup. That's a dandy. That's hard to throw that pitch from where he throws it. That sidearm delivery.
That is a difference maker for Tim Dillard. That is a brand new pitch this season. He's only been throwing sidearm for the last 2 seasons. Cardinals down to their last out. Rasmus sends one in the air. Left center. Gomez wants it, and the Brewers beat the Cardinals. They win the opener of this 3-game series and are within a game and a half of first place in the National League Central. 8-0 the final score. Chris Narveson, 8 shutout innings, and he wins for the 3rd time this season. He's now 3-4. He beats Kyle Loesch. More coming up when we continue from Miller Park.